Friends of Islam, this time the Islamic faith is back before you to share Islamic information. I hope it inspires your activities today, and don't forget to click the subscribe button and activate the bell button notifications so you don't miss the latest news from the Islamic Faith channel. The Republic of Peru, or often called Peru, is one of the countries in South America located in the western part, bordering the Pacific Ocean. Peru is one of the countries rich in anthropological culture. This is reflected in the existence of various adherents of different religions in Peru. There are various adherents of religions that we can find in Peru, including Islam. Exciting facts surround the Latin American region. An Islamic expert from the region is experiencing a wave of strengthening the Islamic religion. This movement is taking place not only in big cities, but also in rural and interior areas. Although a minority, Muslims are able to have a broad influence in society. Their work has spread to various fields. Peru is the best example. There, Muslims are greatly admired, especially in their building design skills. Several beautiful buildings and structures in the country have Islamic architecture. The existence of Mediterranean and Middle Eastern style buildings further adds to the appeal of the cities there. Peruvians also call it the Arabescos architectural style. In fact, Islam has a long history in this country. After the conquest of Andalusia by the Spanish army, many Muslims chose to go to Latin America and settle there. Then came the era of colonization and the spread of Christianity between the 16th and 19th centuries. Along with the opening of plantation and agricultural land, many slaves and foreign workers were brought in, including from Islamic countries. Since then, the number of Muslims has continued to grow. In several cities in Peru, Islamic communities began to emerge. Strengthening the role of Muslims is supported by the country's constitution. The edu.gov page states that the Peruvian constitution provides freedom of religion to its citizens. Every citizen is guaranteed the right to life and religion and prohibits discrimination in any form against religious communities. The state also allows every religious follower to establish a place of worship. Muslims themselves have their first fairly representative mosque in Tacna. This mosque is called the Bab-ul-Islam Mosque. Likewise, in Lima, there is a mosque as a center of worship for around 400 Muslims there. Islam in Peru has experienced significant development in recent years. Although the number of Muslims in this country is still relatively small compared to the majority religion, Islam has received greater attention, especially in big cities such as Lima, the capital of Peru. Many local people are starting to be interested in Islamic teachings because of spiritual and social factors. In addition to direct preaching, the development of technology and social media has also helped the spread of Islam in Peru. Many people find information about Islam through online platforms and content distributed by the local Muslim community. Islamic teachings that emphasize peace, equality, and social justice are attractive to people who want to find spiritual alternatives outside of traditional religions. The development of Islam in Peru is marked by the increasing number of people who decide to convert to Islam. The growth in the number of converts is driven by various factors, including spiritual curiosity, the search for the meaning of life, and the influence of interactions with the increasingly open Muslim community. Those who decide to embrace Islam are generally impressed by the values such as simplicity, peace, and social justice taught by this religion. Many people in Peru are attracted to Islam after interacting with Muslims who live there or through personal study of Islamic teachings. Mosques, especially in large cities such as Lima, also serve as educational and coaching centers for converts, helping them understand the religion more deeply. Dawah and Quran teaching programs are increasingly widespread, both in person and through online platforms, providing wider access for people who want to learn about Islam. In addition, the Muslim community in Peru is also known to be friendly and supportive of the conversion process by providing guidance and assistance to those who have just converted to Islam. These converts often feel accepted and gain a strong bond of brotherhood within the community, which makes their spiritual journey even more solid. The increasing number of converts in Peru shows that Islam is increasingly accepted and understood as a religion that provides positive values to the community there. The Muslim community continues to strive to build harmonious relations with the wider community, demonstrating tolerance and universal values that are in line with Islamic principles. Likewise with the villages here, Muslim villages in Peru, although small, have become one of the recommended places to visit and live. The stunning natural beauty around these Muslim communities makes them a special attraction for tourists and immigrants who want to live. Located in mountainous areas or close to natural beauty, these villages offer a harmonious, calm atmosphere, perfect for those seeking spiritual peace while enjoying the natural beauty of Peru. Peru's diverse nature, from the Andes Mountains to the beaches of the Pacific Ocean, provides a spectacular backdrop for the daily life of the Muslim community. In some areas, mosques and Islamic community centers are located in environments with stunning natural scenery, such as lush green valleys, clear rivers, and impressive mountain views. These places offer a peace and tranquility that are perfect for spiritual reflection and worship. Muslim villages in Peru are also friendly and open places for anyone who wants to learn more about Islam and Muslim culture. Visitors are often warmly welcomed by the local community, who are happy to share about their beliefs and traditions and show the hospitality and sense of brotherhood that characterizes Islamic life there. With a combination of stunning natural beauty and peaceful community life, Muslim villages in Peru are ideal places to visit and live for those who appreciate natural beauty, cultural diversity, and tranquility. Likewise, in religious education, the state allows the management of religious schools for each religious community. For Muslim students who study in non-Muslim schools, they are given the opportunity to design a religious learning program according to their beliefs. Several years ago, due to the lack of religious guidance, many Muslims adopted local traditions. This is feared to affect their faith. Therefore, Islamic figures and religious leaders are determined to increase the frequency of religious guidance for the community. A similar explanation can be found on the Peru Islam page. Spiritual guidance is one of the major concerns of local Muslim figures. Strengthening the faith is the focus of activities, as is religious education related to worship practices. Meanwhile, at the communal level, dawah continues to be carried out. To indigenous people and non-Muslims, the noble values of Islam are explained. This is also related to the misunderstandings that still exist about Islam. However, there are not a few obstacles faced. Among the most pressing, said the Musulmanes Peruanos page, is the limited funds for religious activities among Muslims of Latin descent. The main focus of the community is one of the social problems that needs to be addressed is the existence of abandoned children and orphans. Currently, the number of Muslims in Peru is around 1,000 people, or 0.02% of the population. They are actively fostering spiritual and social activities that are facilitated by several religious organizations. Among these organizations are the Asociación Islámica del Perú and the Musulmanes Peruanos of Naqshbandi Haqqani. These organizations and institutions often foster socio-religious activities while establishing relationships with other religious groups. They are also active in fostering and helping abandoned children and orphans. Some of the children are victims of kidnapping and have their organs taken to be sold illegally. Peruvian Muslim citizens and organizations then collaborated with Latin American Muslim Unity, LAMU, an umbrella organization for Islamic organizations in the region, based in Fresno, California, USA. LAMU then organized fundraising for the construction of a social home for children managed by local Muslims. Religious activities were also intensively carried out. LAMU provided assistance for the interests of Islamic propagation in Peru. As a result, the movement of preaching and religious teaching has spread to rural areas. The people were very enthusiastic about participating in religious education, even though they were in remote areas in the mountains. They also continued to help local Indians with welfare issues while spreading the message to them. Meanwhile, in the capital city of Lima, the same social movement did not slacken. With the resources they had, Muslims contributed to helping the poor without discriminating against ethnic, cultural, or religious backgrounds. The locations of Muslim communities, as well as mosques, became centers of social activities. To raise awareness and participation of all people, they have built communication facilities via the internet. Islamic preaching in Peru is growing rapidly. Although the number is still small when compared to other South American countries such as Brazil, the development of Islam in Peru is among the fastest, and Peru has succeeded in becoming a good example in the social life of Muslim society. The increasing number of Muslims is not only taking place in big cities, but also in rural areas. Muslims in Peru also contribute several beautiful buildings that are thick with Islam. Since the events of September 11th, which left many wounds for all people, have not shaken the faith of Muslims in Peru. In fact, since this incident, the number of converts has continued to grow in Peru, although it cannot be denied that there was suspicion of Muslims in Peru in relation to the events of September 11th. But in general, until now, there have been no problems related to religious life in Peru, especially since the Peruvian government has freed all its residents to embrace any religion of their choice and how to practice it as long as it does not cause chaos. Not only that, the local government also allows schools to manage schools based on religion for each religious community, such as one example. Muslim students who attend schools with a religious basis other than Islam are free to create learning programs according to the religion they embrace, namely Islam. Peru is also known as a friendly place for Muslims. Several hotels in Peru, such as the Sonesta Hotel in Peru, provide halal food for Muslims. In addition, this hotel also provides suhoor and breaking fast services during the month of Ramadan. In this hotel, each room is also given an arrow to indicate the direction of the Qibla for Muslims who want to worship in the room. Not only hotels, various buildings, such as famous and beautiful mosques, make it easier for Muslims to find a place of worship. It cannot be denied that in a country there must be a religion that occupies the majority and minority. Peru, for example, the majority of the population is Catholic, and Islam is a minority religion in Peru. But this does not necessarily create a difference that can provoke a state polemic. Peru has succeeded in showing the world that religious differences are not something that should be debated. Peruvian citizens to this day can live in peace and quiet without any coercion in terms of embracing religion. Lima in Peru is arguably friendly for Muslim travelers. Mosques and halal restaurants can also be found there. Before starting to explore the famous Machu Picchu in the Cusco area, travelers can stop by in Lima first. Lima is the capital and largest city in Peru. There are around 5,000 Muslims in Peru, and most of them live in the Lima area. This city is also quite Muslim-friendly. There may not be many halal restaurants in the Lima area, but there are already several that serve halal menus. Likewise with mosques, there are already some in the capital of Peru, one of which is Mezquita Nur in Girón Oxapampa, Lima. There are also accommodations in the Lima area that have been accredited as Muslim-friendly by Crescent Rating. The name is Hotel El Olivar. This luxury hotel provides a special prayer area, along with prayer mats and prayer schedules. To make it easier for travelers, information is provided in the hotel rooms regarding the direction of the Qibla. As for dining, there are halal food options, including typical Peruvian dishes. Peru is also known as a country with a variety of interesting tourist destinations. Back to nature, the Lima area has charming natural scenery. From the shores of the Pacific Ocean to the hills and valleys that surround the city, Lima's natural attractions are no less fascinating. The beautiful beaches in districts like Miraflores and Barranco offer unforgettable charm. City parks like Parque Kennedy and Parque del Amor are also great places to take a leisurely stroll and relax while enjoying the city's natural beauty. Not only that, a short drive south of Lima will take you to the exotic coastal desert of Huacachina, a popular spot for sand surfing. Oxapampa. Oxapampa is a region in Peru known for its natural beauty and German cultural influences. However, there is very little information about the existence of a Muslim village in Oxapampa. Peru in general has a very small Muslim population, and the better-known Muslim communities are in large cities like Lima. The life of the Muslim community in Oxapampa, which is mostly made up of converts, may focus on spiritual activities, religious education, and community building. They may face challenges in terms of gaining access to facilities such as mosques or places of worship, and attracting religious scholars or teachers to guide them. However, such communities are often strong in solidarity, with members supporting each other in living their religious lives. This may be an example of the growth of Islam in a region where Muslims are not common. Converts in such areas may engage in an intense learning process. deepening their new religion while maintaining their local identity and culture. This suggests that they have had a deep and deliberate spiritual journey before deciding to embrace Islam. Many people who are drawn to Islam are often inspired by Islamic teachings that emphasize simplicity, peace, social justice, and a close relationship with God. They may also be motivated by interactions with other Muslims or through sources such as books, the internet, or historical documentation. After finding what they were looking for in Islam, the journey of converting can be a great transformation in their lives, not only in terms of faith, but also in their daily way of life. Oxapampa is an area rich in natural spaces where you can do not only ecotourism, but also adventure tourism and experiential tourism, since there are still tribes in the area with whom you can interact, learning about their arts and customs. If you want to enjoy nature, visitors can explore natural resources such as the Yanachaga Camian National Park in the city of Oxapampa, which occupies part of the city, as well as its surrounding areas. You can also visit the Oxapampa countryside, where various farms in the city are located, especially producing dairy products, honey and coffee. The city of Oxapampa and the entire province itself is famous for its coffee production, so visiting the area without tasting a cup of coffee produced in the city could be considered a sin. The condition of the Oxapampa Valley is also rich in space for practicing adventure sports, ranging from hiking, mountain biking, rock climbing, and so on, that can be done independently or by utilizing the services of local tour companies. Visiting the city of Oxapampa guarantees that tourists will not only forget the problems of the city, but also learn to connect with a more natural world, where the simplicity and charisma of its people are one of the main contributors to an unforgettable stay experience. The rapid development of Islam in Peru has made a number of mosques begin to spread. In Tacna, for example, a city located in the southern part of Peru and directly bordering the country of Chile, is one of the cities that already has a fairly magnificent mosque. This mosque was completely completed in 2008, then managed by Muslim migrants from Pakistan. Although Muslims in Peru are not the most numerous, Muslims in Peru are often good examples in society. In addition, Dawah in Peru is also growing rapidly, even though, as we know, Peru has a majority Catholic population. Islam in Peru is a religion practiced by a minority of the population of this country. This is evident from the number of Muslims in Peru, which is only around 15,000 people, from a total population of Peru estimated at 31.9 million. The Catholic population in the country has a percentage of up to 80%. Even so, the number of Muslims in Peru continues to experience a significant increase every year. Peru is one of the countries that is friendly to Muslims. Although it is a minority religion, this does not cause divisions among religious communities in Peru. In addition, they can also live comfortably and have religious freedom implemented by the local government. Even if a Muslim student studies in a school that is not based on Islam, the student is allowed to create a learning program that is in accordance with his religion. This is what underlies the strength of Islam in Peru to this day. In line with what the government has given, namely freeing any religious community activities as long as they do not harm people and do not threaten national defense. Lately, many have been interested in information about religious developments in Peru. Peru is a country located in South America. Peru is a fairly large country with a large population. Peru is a country that is visited by many foreign tourists. Many are interested in coming to Peru to enjoy its tourist attractions. In addition to tourist attractions, it turns out that many are curious about religious information in Peru, especially after the dark events in America some time ago. These dark events turned out to have an impact on the development of religion in Peru. Curious about the development of religion in Peru after the dark events? Peru is a country with a majority Catholic population. Peru has two largest religions, namely Catholicism and Christianity. Being the two largest religions practiced by the population makes it easy for visitors to Peru to find churches and cathedrals in the Peruvian region. Churches are even places of worship that are often visited by tourists who come. The distribution of religion in Peru is fairly even. Almost all urban and rural areas have their own beliefs. If you visit the city of Peru, then you can find the majority of religions embraced are Catholic. Statistical data on religion in Peru shows that Catholicism is the largest religion and Christianity is the second most common religion found in Peru, while the rest are Peruvians with religions other than Catholicism and Christianity. Although Catholicism and Christianity are the most widely practiced religions by the Peruvian population, recently Peru has experienced developments in religion. Religion in Peru has developed especially since the dark events that occurred in America. This dark tragedy had an extraordinary impact, especially for Islam. Although it left a dark trail, it turned out that this event was able to become the beginning of the development of Islam in Peru. The dark events carried out by the terrorists are closely related to religion. Islam is considered a religion of violence because it has many terrorists in it. This certainly provides a strong shock to Muslims. Islam is accused and even considered the worst religion. However, with this dark incident, Islam began to rise and many began to be curious about Islam. Peru is one of the countries where its population is starting to be interested in and studying Islam. This can be seen from the number of Peruvians who embrace Islam, which continues to increase. The dark events of September 11th turned out to be able to be the background for the development of religion in Peru. The terrorist attacks carried out in America have managed to capture the world's attention. Many have questioned how Islam is. The more people know about Islam, the more people are interested and want to embrace this belief. The development of Islam in Peru was conveyed by an Islamic expert from the University of Sao Paulo in Brazil, where America experienced a wave of strengthening Islam. There was an increase in the number of people who embraced Islam after the attack. The increase in the Muslim population in America has almost reached 6 million people. Brazil is the country with the largest increase in the Muslim population today. Although Brazil is the country with the highest growth in Islam, Peru is the country with the best example. Peru is a country that provides religious freedom for its people. Peruvians can determine for themselves the religion they want to embrace. This freedom is what shows that tolerance in Peru is very strong. Peru is the best example in terms of religion. Islam is well received by adherents of other religions in Peru. This is evidenced by the very good development of Islamic preaching activities in Peru. It can be said that the development of Islamic preaching in Peru is very rapid. That is what makes more and more people in Peru embrace Islam. Peru is one of the countries with the best examples of religious life full of tolerance. In Peru, the number of mosques is not as many as in Muslim-majority countries, but in several large cities such as Lima, there are several mosques that are centers of Muslim community activities. For example, the Babul Islam Mosque in Lima and the Muhammad Al-Kuwait Mosque in Tacna, which are important places for Muslims to perform congregational prayers, Friday prayers, and various religious activities. Several Muslim communities in Peru are growing, with more and more people interested in Islamic teachings, either through marriage, social interaction, or religious studies. Although they are a minority, the spirit of carrying out worship remains strong. On major Islamic days such as Ramadan, many people gather at mosques to pray Tarawih, break the fast together, and do charity and other good deeds. On Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, Muslims in Peru also flock to the mosque to perform Eid prayers and share happiness with others. The fasting month, or Ramadan in Peru, although observed by a Muslim minority, remains a very important and meaningful time. In cities with larger Muslim communities such as Lima, Tacna, and Arequipa, Ramadan is celebrated with a great spirit of worship and togetherness. During Ramadan, Muslims in Peru fast from dawn to sunset, following global Islamic traditions. Fasting times in Peru can vary, but tend to be shorter than in countries further north, due to Peru's proximity to the equator. In mosques, such as the Babul Islam Mosque in Lima, Muslims gather to perform the Tarawih prayer after breaking their fast together. The Ramadan atmosphere is further enhanced as they share their iftar meal with fellow members of the community, sometimes even involving non-Muslims, who want to experience the togetherness of Ramadan. Despite living in a predominantly Catholic country, Muslims in Peru still observe Ramadan with great enthusiasm. Some Peruvians are also interested in learning more about Islam during this month, and there are sometimes converts to Islam during Ramadan. In addition to focusing on worship, Muslims in Peru often engage in social activities during Ramadan, such as distributing food to those in need or raising funds for charities. These activities reinforce the spirit of togetherness and social awareness that is at the heart of this holy month. Despite their small numbers, Muslims in Peru observe Ramadan with great dedication and spirituality, making this month a special time for introspection, strengthening their faith, and strengthening relationships with others. Muslims in Peru live in peace, despite being a minority group in a predominantly Catholic society. Muslims there enjoy religious freedom and practice their religion without significant barriers. Their relations with non-Muslims are generally harmonious, with many positive interactions between the two groups. Muslims in Peru live side by side with other religious groups, going about their daily lives peacefully. They are involved in various sectors of life, including business, education, and social activities while maintaining their Islamic identity. In many cases, they are active in promoting interfaith dialogue and contributing to the wider community, both through professional work and social activities. The Muslim community in Peru continues to thrive and continues to build positive relationships with the surrounding community. They live out Islamic values in their daily lives, including in terms of social goodness and harmony. This harmony reflects the high tolerance and mutual respect among the Peruvian population, creating a peaceful environment for Muslims and all other religious groups. Muslims in Peru live in a peaceful atmosphere, enjoying the freedom to practice their religion and being an integral part of the wider Peruvian society. They maintain their religious traditions while contributing positively to the society around them, making their presence an example of harmonious diversity in the country. Friends of the Islamic faith who are blessed by Allah, I hope this video is useful and see you in our next video.